The man clearly knew that his wife's family was about to receive $10 million in demolition compensation, but on the very next day after the news was announced, he divorced his wife, and he even reminded them, saying that as long as they didn't sign the contract, the family house could at least get $100 million more in compensation than now. After hearing this, the wife's family stood there stunned in shock when they came to their senses. They hurriedly took a taxi to find the developer and demanded $100 million in compensation from them. Little did they know their actions would only make them lose the chance of demolition compensation. The reason the man knew all this information was because he had been reborn one day earlier in his previous life. The man, who was an orphan, graduated from school with the top score. But before he could even start working, he was forced to marry her because of his wife's scheme. After marrying the woman, the man became a slave to his wife's family. Not only did he have to serve the whole family, he also had to hand over all his salary to them. Until the news of the demolition arrived, the wife's family, in order to get more money, took the villagers to the developer's company to demand payment, claiming that if they didn't get the money, they would not allow the houses to be demolished. But the man accidentally overheard the developer's conversation and learned they could only offer $10 million. Otherwise, they would change the route to build in the next village. Worried that his family might not get even $1, the man immediately told this news to his wife's family. But what he didn't expect was after they got the compensation, they began to complain. The money was too little and even pushed all the blame onto the man, claiming that if the man hadn't told them to sign, they could have received at least $50 million. To take revenge on the man on Christmas night, they beat the man to death before dying. The man swore to himself that if he could do it all over again, he would make those who hurt him pay the price. Maybe God heard his wish. When the man opened his eyes again, he found himself back in the broken house in the village, looking at the people who kept blaming him. The man finally realized that he had been reborn and had returned to the day the demolition news was announced. At that moment, the village chief finally appeared before them and said a highway would be built through the village. The woman's house was right at the center, so they could get $10 million in compensation. After hearing this, everyone opened their eyes wide in shock, unable to believe demolition had really come. But the father on the side began to question the village chief, saying their family had 4 big houses and should get at least $50 million. This made the father start to suspect that the village chief had embezzled their money. Hearing the same conversation as in his last life, the man did not step forward to stop it. Instead, he texted his friend who worked in sales, asking about the old house at the entrance of the next village, whether it was for sale. Facing his friend's questions, the man did not explain the reason. He only said he wanted to buy it now. At this time, the wife's family had already, because of the compensation issue, driven the village chief out. Remembering the man was a finance graduate, they wanted to ask for his opinion. Thinking of the ending of his last life, the man immediately said they were right, claiming such a big house should bring the father $50 million. After hearing this, the woman's brother, in order to get more money,